Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I'm a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too, because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting, because I believe in a whole mind, whole body, whole being experience when it comes to manifesting the lives that we choose, right? So, what I am discussing today is the in-between time, right? In between worlds. This is so prevalent, especially in my life at several different times. And people that I know now, a lot of people are going through this in this particular moment. So I was like, let me discuss this a little bit. And you may see me mess with my hair a little bit, only because it's kind of acting funny. It's not laying flat. That's all good though. Yeah, we're good. Nonetheless, so something you might experience in the in-between time. So let me break down what the in-between time is. It's when you are done having a removal of something in your life that was not working, or something that you have actively outgrown or outpaced, however you want to put it. And then you are now moving towards something that you are reaching for, but that thing that you are reaching for is not quite there yet, right? So I call that the in-between time. And the reason why the in-between time is so prickly is because so much can happen because of what is going on in that time, right? So number one thing that happens in the in-between time that I like to discuss is going to be isolation, right? A lot of people, so if you're an introverted person like me, isolation doesn't mean much to you. I will say this though. Even introverted people that I know, they have friends. They have tons of them. They have people that they talk to. But this isolation is a little bit different in the in-between time. Whether you're introverted or extroverted, keep a lot of friends or don't, you'll find yourself not being able to truly connect with others around you that are your peers, or not being able to truly create new friendships or new connections or network in an area where it was always easy for you to find camaraderie and to hang with people and to do things and that kind of stuff. You'll start finding that this isolation is a little bit different, right? So another thing is that you'll experience an in-between time is lots of free time. So it's lots of time where you're not necessarily focused on doing anything in particular. I find myself with that whenever I'm going from one place to the next, when I'm transitioning, I'll find that I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, what should I do today? What should I do today? What should I do today? And if I had any work to do or anything I was working on, I already got it done, right? And so even projects you're working on, it gets done really quickly. And you're just like, okay, what next? What next? And I found myself having to pace myself even this year because some projects I was working on completed very quickly. Like it didn't take any time. I had things on my vision board that seemed like it was insurmountable. I've already met them, right? And year was not even done, right? So it shows you a lot about what trajectory would do for you if you create a good one, but you'll see lots of free time. And I want to say ahead of time, don't do anything with that free time. Like don't try to immediately stick something else in the place of it. Be comfortable with not worrying about having something to do every second of the day, right? I think that's so important. Be comfortable with interfacing with yourself and just feel like, I don't have to fight for anything right now. I don't have to work on anything right now. And I can just be comfortable and I can watch something on TV if I want to, especially if you know that's not your persona and it's not something that you go run to all the time, right? And you know that you're the kind of person that will find something to do every second of the day. So you just let your free time sit. Another thing that you'll see in the in-between time is going to be lots of false starts, right? So when you're on your way from like one type of career place, like that's something that's been common for me, and going to another place in my career, I found that before it actually happened, I had a ton of false starts. False starts meaning like people would tell me about positions or opportunities or jobs or conferences or things like that. And somehow, for whatever reason, those things would just not work out. And it would happen over and over and over again. And I'm just like, dang, because this is what happens. Whenever you have something crazy removed from your life and you're waiting for that big breakthrough to come in and you're in that in-between space, everything starts to look like a sign. Especially the people who think along the lines like the way that we do. Everything looks like a sign. And what happens is that it's so easy to get discouraged because, okay, I had this big sign today. I got offered this position, but this position is a state away. I can't move to another state right now, but it's positive, right? It's positive that I was offered it, right? It can be easy to not see it as something negative. And I mean, to see it as something positive. It can be easy to just overdo it. It's like, oh, someone called me at this particular time on this day for that job, and then you didn't get it. You're like, I thought that was a sign. No, it's a false start. It's one of those things to where your energy is so good and your attitude is so positive to where you start with getting all of these opportunities and interactions, and like people start looking for you and wanting to share things with you, but it's not always necessarily in alignment with who you are and where you're headed. And I think it's very good to be discerning of that. And when it doesn't meet the standard, you got to let it go, even if you can't see anything else that's going to come in its place. Because the worst thing that you can do to sabotage any ascension, evolution, or evolving or awakening is to be afraid of letting go of the previous things so you can reach for the other thing. Because there's some areas where you can't hold on to one while you're reaching for the other one. You got to let this one go completely, let that hand rest, and then keep reaching for the other thing, and then be okay with it. But what many of us do is, because we don't see anything happening, we start reaching back, right? And people from the past, so things from the past will start reaching for you. I was recently, because I'm looking to do something completely different in my career, I was recently given a message on LinkedIn from somebody I worked with many, many years ago, another professor. And he was just like, oh, there's this position, whatever that's coming up. And I've been trying to do that type of position forever. And these people reject. But let me tell you, bigger plans were in store because I didn't miss anything. But the fact of the matter was that this person was offering me now this position that I no longer needed. But it was so tempting to want to go after it because it was something that I wanted for so long. I found that to be one of those areas that's a false start. It's giving you the impression that you should jump on this thing, but it's, that intuitively and as you are aligned, those things are not fitting, and it deep down inside. You can force it, but excuse me. And then another thing is confusion. A lot of confusion comes in the in-between time because there's so much transition, and there's so many things you're letting go, and there's so many things you're moving forward to. People will be confused in environments, places. Let me tell you, when you are transitioning out of things, especially things like relationships and stuff, people will be very confusing. And the reason why they're so confusing is because they're being pushed by your energetic pull and they may not know it. And we've all been a part of this. We've all experienced it. We've all been on the receiving end of it, or on the giving end of it, right? When someone around us has a strong motivation or desire to do something, be something, or have something, if we're in that space and we don't have a strong desire to be, do, or have something in that moment, we are definitely often used for their advancement because their energy is so strong, it's like sucking us in. So if you ever have somebody treat you weird or strange, and like some relationship you were in or friendship, it just got cut off or fell off towards the very end of it, it wasn't really anything that you did. They weren't being rude to you. The confusion happens because they're being pulled to free you, to give you that space, but they don't really know how to do that in a positive manner, right? So people's behaviors can get confusing. The workplace environment. You may go to do something one day and somebody says, oh, you're my best friend or my best buddy, and we can, I love working with you, blah, blah, blah. And then you won't hear from the person for like 5 months. And you're like, what happened, right? A lot of what you'll be finding in those spaces, you'll get confused because nothing will be quite consistent enough yet because you're still transitioning. So they got things falling out, things falling in. The new start look like it's coming. The old start look like it's still lingering. You're just like, why is that still there? But that new thing did pop up. So you have a lot of that happening, right? And then the last thing I can say is withdrawal. I find that a lot of people, because of all the things that were mentioned previously in this video, they get to a place where they get withdrawn because you don't know what's coming next, and you let go of all the things that you were familiar with, but at the same time you feel isolated because you're having a hard time connecting with other people. You feel like you have lots of free time on your hands, so a lot of people fall into sleeping often and going into depressions too. And then these false starts can really be a letdown because you're just like, oh, these people called me for this position, and you find out you can't do it because of this reason. And so this year I've had like opportunities pop up in many areas, and like 5 of those opportunities were false starts. They were things that absolutely nothing came from, that I was overqualified for, that I had to turn down because of where I am at in my life and my career and where I'm headed, right? And a lot of people in those spaces, they get withdrawn because it's not happening the way they see it. They don't have a blueprint for how this is going to go. They don't really always have camaraderie or people or mentorship in order to tap into others and get some more information. And so they can find themselves feeling very despondent and then very withdrawn. So you just want to keep that in mind, right? When you're in transition and in that in-between time, don't let this time get the best of you. Just keep in perspective of where you're at and what's going on. Always focus on the bigger picture. Never feel the need to go backwards because you don't see what's forward. Always treat your life as if something you're reaching towards as opposed to something you're running away from. Because when you're running away from stuff, it tends to just follow you, right? When you're running away from things, think about it as like playing it with life, like I'm playing tag with life. Tag is better, right? When you start running, it starts running faster. So while you're thinking you're leaving one relationship because this person was so awful, you ran so hard that all you did was allow life to just keep chasing you and keep following you with that thing, right? When you are actively reaching for something, then your pace is outmeasured because there's nothing to compare it to. You're reaching for something that has not been sought out by yourself, by somebody from your exact background, your exact experiences, your exact upbringing, your exact education, your exact mindset, your exact spirituality, your exact physical form. No one has walked in those shoes before, right? So you have to just keep that in mind, that you can't get caught up in the idea that it's not working because it doesn't look like what someone else is doing over there, because what's working for you is working for you. What's working for you is working for you and only you, because that's the only way the universe can operate. We're way too unique to each other in so many ways, like 3 questions deep. I always say that, so that we can't have like this blanket statement or, picture perfect idea of like, if your life looks like this at this time, then you'll have this by this time. It doesn't work like that. So people get withdrawn because they just like, man, I gave up all that crappy stuff out of my life and I still don't have the promised land yet, right? I still don't have the things that were supposed to come to me. And I want to tell you that they're coming. They are coming. Stay the course, stay the path. Don't let this in-between time and isolation periods get the best of you. I'm telling you, if you can be a master of your in-between times, when that transition time gets all funny and you get anxiety and you don't know what's happening next and you've let go of everything that you've known before and you just can't see where anything is going to develop and expand and grow, and you're like, how is it even going to happen? Stay the course. In that in-between time, know that these things are going to happen. You're going to feel isolated. You're going to feel withdrawn. You're going to have lots of free time. You might even fall into a little depression. You're going to have a few false starts, but you're on the right path. You're doing the thing that makes your heart sing. And if you're not doing that, then what's the point of living and doing this whole earth thing, right? If you're not going to be doing things that make you feel good about being here, because life is short, long and short, right? The days are long, but the years are short. That's so true. People say it about kids, but I think it's about everybody in life in general. Your days may seem long waiting on things, but let me tell you, your years are short. And especially the years are short when you're really enjoying yourself, right? So when you're having a good time, like I look at myself and I'm like, between the ages of 32 and like 39, I don't even know where the time went. Like my daughters turned into like people in that time, and I was just enjoying them. I was enjoying homeschooling. I was enjoying a minimalist type of lifestyle and not needing much and not wanting much, and being able to manage my life in such a peaceful way with so much freedom, using my education strategically, being able to do side hustles and write books. Like 32 to like 39, very enjoyable part of my life. But I look back, I'm like, what happened? It went by fast. So you have to keep that in mind. Know that you're on the right course. Know that you're in between, and know that transition is a necessary evil. It's not an evil. I just felt like to say that. It's a necessary part of the process and the journey, and you're on the right track and all is well. And I'm wishing you tons and tons of abundance, peace, and prosperity. And until then, keep manifesting your magic. And you know what? Yeah. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.